Hello everyone, this is Paula and I'm back today for us to do something a little different. I told you I'm going to be squeezing in some different things, and a lot of people are collaging and doing memory book pages and are taking prompts and using doing things kind of like what we do at Christmas with December Daily, where you just get certain things and you talk about a day. Only you don't have to really say anything with what I've got planned, except I am going to put a few little prompt words in there. Now, the first thing I want to do is welcome you and tell you up front that if you enjoyed today's video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And also, if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so, we would love to have you. And welcome to all new subscribers. Yeah. So, let's get busy. Now, I got up this morning and I thought, what am I going to do on my video today? And I told you in the last video, I'm just going to sit down and do it. Of course, I did have to pull out some things, so I pulled out my Tim Holtz box. And fortunately, there's other things in there, but things similar to Tim Holtz. And I have put in this box. So if I have ephemera that looks kind of like what Tim Holtz would put out, and I don't know who it comes from, and you know, eventually you get all this collection of things. So I just started pulling out black and white and numbers. And I pulled out some of his people. And then I added one little extra color. Two if you call off-white, cream, or something like that different. But I just chose one color, and it's kind of a minty, yellowy, just green, basically. So this is what's stirred me on here, was this tissue. So the first thing I want to do is get this down, and I am going to show you my journal that I made. This is my art journal, and it's been some time. I've only worked in it one other time, and that was around Christmas. And yeah, so I just took a book, did it like if you do an altered book, took pages out, didn't make any pockets, just fixed it where we could do. Yeah, this is the one from Christmas. It was not that great, but I don't really have a page picked out in here, so this looks as good as any. This was an old book, Uncle Tom's Cabin. So, and then I covered the inside and the front. A lot of people have trouble with the spine getting all crooked, and I've been known to do that with my altered books too, but I took extra time, and because I thought this book was really pretty. You know, it's got this gold inlay on it, and then I just went ahead and it has some leaves, you know. So I decided to do these leaves on the inside and did some blue fabric for the spine. Normally you don't do those sort of things to your spine. Now, yes, you can see where I tore out a lot of pages, but you can also see that it's not perfect, but it's much better than any I've ever done. What did I do? Well, before I started working in it, when I saw it was all wonky, I just put glue down in the back, in between here and the book pages, and I just put it in a position to be flat like this, put pressure, let it dry. I can't remember what I put on it, maybe some books or something. I don't know how I did it. It's been too long, but I have art journaled for a long time. I've also done mixed media a lot, and so that's where my knowledge lies with this sort of thing. We're not going to do the mixed media part today, but we are going to Well, let's go right in here. We are going to work on this page. So I thought, rather than putting my glue stick on the tissue and tearing my tissue, I decided just to add a bunch right here on this side, and we'll go ahead and add a little bit right here because we're going to take it on over, but I don't want it to dry out before we can get it over there. But I'm going to put a little bit so we can kind of scooch it on over. This is Tim Holtz paper, tissue, and I'm going to tell you the name of it in 1 second after I knock everything over on my desk. And I just want to get this on straight the first time, or as straight as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then if you do it from one side to the next, kind of like you do shelf paper or contact paper when you're lining your cabinets, if you use contact paper. I have done both. Okay, now we've got this side done, so I'm just going to start pushing it over to this other side where I put a little bit, because you want it to kind of go down into your spine and take that shape on. And so I'm putting a little bit of just smoothing it out. Now, the difference between doing this and doing Mod Podge is you just don't get all this, you know, the shiny page and stuff. So now over here, I'm just going to do the same thing. Now, you don't have to do it like me. My way is not the only way, but I find it easy. And it's the way that works best for me. That's one thing about journaling, collaging, doing whatever in art, whatever art. You are the leader of that, and you make the decisions. And don't ever think that you've done something wrong by, you know, going off of and doing your own thing. That doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it yours. Okay. Now, so today, I'm really not, there's no real reason behind this page I'm doing. I decided to pick 2 or 3 colors, and I just dug through Tim Holtz stuff and picked 2 or 3 colors. And I'm just going to use them in a collage. There's no reason or anything else. I did put a couple little prompts, but other than that, that's just prompts that I like. And so if any of that gets loose, we'll go back over it. So I'm going to use glue for the majority of the items on here, because a lot of them are like cardstock or ephemera that you buy. And I want to make sure, you know. So I thought down here that we would leave it because it is Uncle Tom's Cabin. I don't think it's going to have any big, awful words. And I'm not even going to look to see. But let's get busy doing something to this. So I'm thinking, I didn't think a lot, but I'm thinking on the right side here, I'm going to use this little lady. I just picked out two people. Looks like a teenager or a young mother. And then this little boy here of Tim's. Now, I am going to use ink on my items. Now, I'll come back and ink around the pages. I guess I could just go ahead and do it. I just don't want us to spend all of our time inking around the pages. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just going to do a quick inking. Sometimes when I collage or do mixed media, I'll put a border around my page. And I'll have to show you sometime what I mean by that. And sometimes for me, it's just sketching. You know, I used to do oil painting. And I've done water painting. Or watercolor, I mean. And, you know, pencil. All the things that go along with art. But I don't just sit down and start drawing out of my head. It's never been a thing I could do. You know, I mean, if I can look at something, I can draw it. But if I have to just pull it out of my brain and design it, for some reason, I'm not as good at that as I feel like I could be. But I never had any training. Not any real training. I took a couple oil classes when I first started doing oil painting. It wasn't my thing. I just, I don't know. I don't like, I'm just not a big canvas-like person when it comes to doing art. Now, I use canvas sometimes in mixed media, but that's, you know, that is about the most of it. Okay, so there we go. Now, we'll just set them aside. So, I've got a little sanding block here. Most of you would recognize it as a nail file block. And that's right, because that's what I've used these before. And I want to use this little frame I found. I thought this is cute. It's got a couple little pieces of paper sticking up off of it. So I thought I'd just file those down so it don't look so stubby. I guess it would, once upon a time it was in something that had to be pulled. I don't even know where this came from. You know, I buy so much ephemera and stuff from different things. If I see something I think's cute, I just buy it. Or if I see a pack of something, you know, and I've done that with Tim Holtz over the years too. If I see, I don't know why that's doing that. If I see that he's got something out new or different, those don't want to sand off. And I think it's because this is kind of flimsy. It is made out of a very lightweight, like cardstock. And it kind of has a white edging on it. But we're going to ink that a little bit. I'm not going crazy with the inking. Because a lot of this is already distressed looking. But, you know, I like to ink. What can I say? Perfection is not what I'm looking for. I'm just playing. And I thought I'd turn on and do a video while I did it. Now, I like this little frame. And I thought this little girl would be cute in this frame. Either like standing here or standing here. Depends. So I'm looking at a pile of stuff. And the first thing I was drawn to is my doily. This is an old roughed up doily, so it looks a little more vintage than normal doilies. I'm not going to ink it because it's already grungy looking. So I could put it like in this corner. You could put it in the middle. I don't like it in the middle though. My jumping off point was this frame, so let's just put it, well, let me think about what I want to put on next before I just jump in and glue it. Why don't I build on it and then go back and glue it down? That's probably the smartest thing to do. Okay, so I like this. It says choose joy. Now, I don't like these pointy things necessarily. They're a little on the over pointy for me. So I'm nipping them off. Okay. Now they have a flatter look. And I'm blowing the scrap pieces off. Okay. Now, I do want this to kind of stick out on this side. I like that. Where you go over the frame, under and over. Let's see if my idea with the lady works well. We could put her over where she actually is touching the top. Ah, yeah, that's perfect. I don't know. I mean, it's perfect enough. I'll put it that way. We could have her hand kind of just leaning on it like that. Let's glue this down before I forget what we were doing. I'm going to hold my doily. Where's my glue? Here's my glue. Now, this doily obviously has tons of holes in it. So I think by the time I'm just putting a little smidgen of glue around the outside. Also, by the time we put everything on top of this, it should be where it's supposed to be. Right? Let's see where I was going to put the frame. Yeah, that's close enough, right? I needed something relaxing and calming today. No, I'm not. No big reason. I just wanted to do something fun and different. I knew my husband has a lot of things to do today, so I thought, well, this is Sunday, so I thought I'd just come up here and play. So I woke up this morning, went into the living room, and the back windows in our house have no drapes because it's all wooded, and it's just really pretty. And at night, you can see the city lights from Branson, which is really awesome. But anyway, that's another story. I looked out, and I saw that I have a redbud in my backyard. And, you know, we just thought we had wild trees, you know, wooded trees and stuff. But, you know, redbuds kind of grow in the wild, or they did originally. And they still do, you know. I think that's where they were found in the beginning. In the beginning of whenever gardeners decided to have things where you can purchase them. Back in the day, back in the old golden days. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so today I need to pick up my house a little bit. When I say pick up, because my housekeeper's coming tomorrow, I just mean get clutter put back in its place. Do you guys do that? I don't clean it because my kids have said, Mom, you don't clean before you have them come out. Well, you don't clean before you have them come out, but you also want to give them room to clean, you know. Otherwise, that clutter will still be there and nothing will look accomplished. So I like to do it that way. And so I just pick up before they come and lay out clean sheets and stuff like that. I have two really great housekeepers that it's a husband and wife team, and they do a super job. Okay, I'm just kind of centering this, but putting it more to the left than to the right. Now, I hope I got these in a good place for this. Yeah, I'm going to call that good enough. We'll get her on here. Usually, the majority of the time when I collage in my mixed media or art book, everybody calls it something different. I don't use heavier cardstock, so that's why I'm using this glue to make sure it stays down. And I am trying to get a little more thinner, but more toward the edges, so you know it doesn't lift up. I'm sure it will anyway in some places. Okay, now let's get you settled in here. I want her to be touching this. Perfect. I do like the way that turned out. Okay, so I can't diddle-daddle around because, you know, that could take me forever. Oh, you know what? I think I want to put this, if it's not too late, behind that doily. Bring in a little bit of the green. It may be too late to do that. I don't want to tear up the doily. But I can tear this in half, right? And then I don't have to worry about putting it much further down. Yeah. Might not end up where I wanted it, but it'll be close enough. You know, you can rip your ephemera and just use little pieces of it and it will go longer or keep longer. You'll have more to work with if you're just starting out. Because trust me, it doesn't take long to build up your stash when you're doing this sort of thing. Yeah, I like the way that looks. Probably need to glue that down right there where I pulled it up a little bit. And of course, I got a little bit too much right there. All right, so now let me think. I have a little tab here, which we could cut down and make smaller if I wanted to use that. Let me see. I think I do. I'm just going to stick it out of there like it's like it belongs there. I would lay out everything and let you see everything, except it's just in a pile. And I'm just kind of grabbing and putting down. That's what makes it a little more fun and a little more challenging, actually. So I cut it and made it shorter, but I'm pushing it snug up against my frame. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right, so now down here, what do I want to put? I feel like I need to add something with numbers. Or maybe this is a cool little arrow. Let's do this little arrow. I have a couple of these. Maybe we can incorporate them. And this might lead your eye over to the other page. If you start on the right, and maybe I'll put one on the left somewhere to lead you over here. That way, whoever looks at it is led around the page. I could have put it centered, but why? It's different not being centered, right? Okay. I'm just looking. I have this little camera. It's a little piece of wood veneer, and it's a camera. It has nothing to do with anything, but none of this has anything to do with anything. Trying to think. Would I want to put that somewhere? Maybe not. I'm going to hold this and think about it. So let's go over on this side. See what kind of trouble we can get in over here. So I kind of want to build this up where this little guy ends up sitting down. You know, so it looks like he's sitting down. I've never really done that before, but we're going to try and see what happens. What do I got? Got a little bit of everything over here. I have this little row of alphabet. Since we're doing numbers and alphabets, I thought this would be appropriate. I don't know where I'm going to put that yet, but I know I want to use it. Here's a piece of black cardstock. Well, it's not really, it's like a layering thing that, you know, was in all my layering stuff. It's thinner than a normal piece of paper. I like that, adding that little bit of silver in there. It's not really going to count for anything, but I like that. I think I'm going to put it over this way. And then we'll see. And I have this circle viewfinder that was in some of my layering stuff. And again, this is all mixed in with Tim Holtz, because it reminds me of things that he does. Doesn't mean that I'm going to wonder what that would look like here. This mimics, in my eye, it mimics the doily on the other side. We could do it here. Could do it in the middle or here. No, let's see if that little guy can sit somewhere on here. How do we want to do him? Be kind of like that, wouldn't it? Maybe not so far toward the... It's hard it's hard to know how to put the butt on there. Okay, so we have our viewfinder with this little dude. Have some more tickets. This is kind of a gray color, but I kind of like it because it's in the color family his jacket is in. Maybe this needs to go down in here. Of course, it's kind of crooked right now because I'm just piddling. Okay. I also have this word, be kind, which I really want to use. Let me ink it and think on this for a second. Okay. I don't want it to look like a title. I want it to look like it belongs in this situation. Let's see. Let's lift him off and see what we can do. Okay, I'm liking this. Maybe this is bugging me. I have this. can bring this down where it looks like he's climbed up on here. Let's do that before I forget. Okay, so we're going to do the thick piece that goes in the furthest back, which is this. These little things are not all that easy to glue flat, huh? Unless you use like a glue stick. But it's also too heavy, I feel, for a glue stick. I hope these are... Oh, I was saying, I hope this comes out of my... Sometimes you can't see if your glue's coming out when you're me, who can't see that great anyway. I can't wait to get my eyes done so I can just see what's going on. And they're not that bad. I mean, they're not the worst they could be. They're moderate, but they're not severe. Okay, here we go. Let's put that there because that was, you know, the last thing. Whoops. Okay. And then we have this that was in here. And I forgot to ink it. Okay. All right. Kind of leaning it, just kind of, that's the fun part to me. I love to layer, okay? I love to do anything that's like collaging. Just try not to bore you to death because I know you've had to watch a lot of that. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, some people love to watch it. I've been told by people that it relaxes them. It does me as well. But I can only take so much of it, you know. I think we're all kind of that way. Let's see. Let's kind of do it over this way a little bit. I think it was more this direction. Let me make sure I'm getting this straight. I didn't check the other side. I think it's close enough. Okay, there we go. Now, we want to put the Be Kind on here, but I want to line him up and make sure he's right where I want him, which I'd kind of like it for him to not have his feet on it necessarily, but close to it. I love anything that says kindness or kind or be kind, any of that sort of thing. I think that's what I feel like I try to do to get through life, is to be kind. I think it's very important. There's kind, there's courteous, there's this, there's that, you know, but I don't think you can go wrong by being kind or having kindness. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, so let's put this little guy's rear end down here first. And then his feet will go into place. I think when you use these little characters, But the main thing is that you make them look natural as much as you can. Okay, now I'm still looking at this camera thinking, well, this might be a good spot for it. I like it there. It just looked right when I put it down. You know, I think that's how a lot of us do, is you just have to audition, as Rachel says, your pieces before you decide where to put them. But in my mind, it's always about the angle and the position. But I want it to be in the right angle, or it just looks weird. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. So we've got Be Kind, and we've got Choose Joy. Now, I wanted to put another arrow on here, but I don't know where yet. And I also love these feathers. I mean, it's like, can you add one more thing, you know? Maybe not. Huh. Oh, and I wanted to use this, but I still could use this. Although I feel like it should have went in before the note to self. Let's see if I can lift that up. Because I feel like we need some green over here. It doesn't want to move. But we're going to work. We're going to insist. But we're not going to bring it all the way up. I don't want to rip a hole, which I think it's too late. I think we already did. See if I can get it down far enough. I think that's fine. I'm not going to force it down any further, but I'm going to ink it real quick. And make it look grungy. Okay, I think I'm going to do it like that. Whoa, looks like this is torn a little bit, doesn't it? I would hate to keep my vision like it is right now. I feel like it's worse, way worse than it has ever been in my life. It's frustrating to get to that point where you really, ideally, I would have put the little circle viewfinder in front too, I think. But it was an afterthought. I wish I'd put that, I'd cut that a little shorter. You know, you look at things after you've done it and you're like, well, can't do anything about that now. Could use this that says, remember this. It's almost too low, isn't it? At least on that side. It is on this side. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm still looking to see if there's anything. I know I want to use this arrow that I had 2 of. But I have to decide. Yeah, that's a good spot. Okay. Just kind of line up. You want it to be straight. Or as straight as possible. I want to make sure I've been in camera this whole time. Looks like I should move down a little bit. Sorry if you haven't seen everything. It's hard to keep it in the right spot. But I really love this trust in you. Is that not the truth? The person that you can trust in is yourself. And I like that. I also like to do mixed media pages and add I could put this right here. I just happened to think. I was thinking as I was talking. You can put a quote on it, and a lot of times I do that, quote or scripture, unless I'm going to do a lot of these. And, you know, I have a bunch of these, and so I have a tendency to want to lean toward these little word prompts or phrase prompts. I'm going to put that there just because I didn't like that it was so tall, so maybe it will distract from that. Okay. And again, you want to make sure it's straight, because that would bug me. Of all people, it would bug me if it wasn't. Because it doesn't take long for it to dry, as we found out earlier. Now, what else can we do that we haven't done? I don't like that this should have been up here, I feel like. So what can I do to make that look better? I'm just thinking maybe if we layered something else on it to make it look. I thought this was cute because it had the numbers or the letters and some of the numbers there. Nope, that's too big. I think this comes closer to being better, but it's still big too. And I feel like we're kind of building to the left instead of to the right. That bingo card would have looked really cute on here somewhere had I located that spot in time. So we'll save it for another time. I really like the feathers. This is the butterflies that I had, but this was shiny. And my thought was to scratch it up with my more coarse fingernail. But I don't think it'll fit on here anyway. But just so you know, that will scratch it and take a little bit of the shiny off. Not much, but every little bit helps. Okay, so that's not going to work either. So what I'm coming up on here is this little car. Isn't it cute? How can we use that little dude? Now, we don't have to keep him this size. But I really like that it has these checks up here too. But it won't work. So let's try cutting it off. Never know. And of course, I cannot cut straight like Shabba Dabba Doodah's channel. Tina over there, she amazes me how she cuts everything straight. That would make me crazy if it wasn't straight. I'm going to see if this will round that little corner. Yeah, it will, but it's the smallest one I have. Now we have to do both sides. So that's not so bad doing both sides, right? Okay, now let's see where we can put this little guy. Yeah, it's going to bug me now. This is going to be more like a, how do I say it? I don't really know what it is. It's really wonky. I think there is a chance I didn't get that just right, but that's okay. I like it. So I'm just going to put him right here. Not that that's the perfect spot, but I want him in this collage. Now, let me see how much time we have after I get this glued down. And we can see whether or not we can go any further, or if we even need to. Let me look. Oh, we've got 10 more minutes. So I want to use this somewhere, but I think it's too late to really. I'll have to look at that later. Now, I have also gotten this big number, which I think's too bold for this. But it would have worked maybe in a different way. What else do I have? I had this. But I don't think that works anywhere. And then I had this green ticket. I don't want to put two greens together because it's not really about the green. I just kind of wanted it to... Now, I'm going to add a border to this. Let me get my markers. Just a moment. Sorry. Coming. So there's a lot of mixed media artists out on YouTube that are wonderful, and I've watched a lot of them, and I have tried a lot of different things, and yeah, you know, you just have to play. The thing about mixed media is it really is about playing and using the right products. Like normally in a situation like this, maybe I would have added some gesso or some gel medium or something like that to give it more of a, I don't know what you want to call it. I'm looking in one of my books here to see. Sometimes I use a stamp around the outside to make my border. I'm looking. And you know, they stick together when you do true mixed media. They end up sticking together. These are some old ones I've done. You know, they're old and they've stuck together. And this is when I was learning. I was young then. See, like this that says eat was supposed to be over here. It came off of here to be over here. You know, I took some classes. It's been a long time ago. Anyway, you know, they're fun. I did a lot of canvases mostly. Those are just beginner. I mean, those are from a long, long time ago. So on here, I was thinking, I use the, oh, what is it called? I don't know where I got this ivory pen, but these are the big, by Faber-Castell, the Pitt pens. And you can use any color you want. And I really want to kind of stick with the black and the, maybe black, gray, and white. Or we could throw some green in there, but I don't want the green to be a crazy green. I don't want it to be, I guess we really don't have much of a choice which green it will be. But this is better than the other one, hopefully. I got to see what it looks like first. I got to find something to mark on. Give me just a second. Okay. Yeah, that's the right kind of green. Now you can add a border. And you can use a stamp to make a border. But today I'm just going to do kind of a, I'm not going to give it a lot of thought. I'm just going to do some straight lines. And I'm going to go straight around. And I've got the pen or the marker, the Pitt marker, on its side. I don't really worry about doing it freehand because that just makes it way more fun. Whoops. Well, I ran up on that and it's not going to come off. But anyway, I don't worry about it. Let's just go over it. See, I didn't even worry about that. A lot of people would just throw it away after that, you know. Not me, I'm coming for a second. And a lot of times I'll do one color and then I'll do another color. And sometimes I do more of a design than just a line. I'll have to get some of my stamps out for one of these. And I am going to go, where did my cap go? It disappeared. I have hardly used these lately. They haven't been used in a long time. Poor little things. Now I'm going to try to do a little bit thinner line of black. And I probably will do a couple. It's to each their own. Yeah, I think I'll do 2 here also. Because I kind of like to see how they mix and cross each other. And sometimes if they don't cross each other, I cross them. You know, I make them go through the being crossed part of it. When you make a boo-boo, well, and that was a little boo-boo, you just want to cover it up by making more boo-boos. And it's funny because you think when you're starting to do like this whole line thing that, oh my gosh, what have you done? But I think it frames it and makes it look a whole lot more fun. And yeah, and then if you wanted to, if you were on a mixed media paper, you could actually do blending. That's why I licked my finger and kind of blended in this area, because I was thinking, well, maybe, just maybe, it might show up or clear out. and mix in and blend, but it didn't, because it's not really expected to. Now, I could also go back and add some stamping, but I feel like this is so much already that we don't need any more stamping. And, yeah. So, I guess what I am going to do is, I got to get my date stamp and make sure it's still up to date. Usually what I do is I will stamp the date at the bottom, and it looks like my date. I'm looking to see if 2021 is in here. Well, maybe. Nope, that's not it. Let's get the year on here first. And today is the 28th. Because yesterday was my husband's birthday. And it is March. Get it in the right direction so I can see. Okay. Why is that not looking right? See, that's October, July. Okay, let me stamp this to be sure that it's correct. Now, I don't worry about it being crooked or anything like that. I don't worry about anything the ink does. Like that little thing, I like that on there. I like that it makes that little square on there. And so, yeah. So there we go. It's not too bad for it being forever since I've done one of these. And we'll do more. I'll try to come up with just different things probably each time. It won't all be Tim Holtz, but I use a lot of Tim Holtz whenever I do a collaged page. I try not to go crazy as far as bulk in the book. And yeah, so you'll find that that's a lot of fun. All right, guys, I hope you had fun today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and come back. We're going to do more collaging like this. We're going to do paper collaging. We're going to collage into a book, which I've already done. And I want to show you what I'm doing. This is an old book I had on making afghans. And I've had this out before with you guys. And I've been collaging in this. Not much sent off camera, but I did one or two this morning. And then, so on one side, it's the journaling side. On the other side, I guess I just decided to put a piece of text paper in there. On the other side, you've got your decorative side. And I really have fun doing this. And I may just do some more when I get off this video. You guys have a great day. See you next time.